So we all had good food to eat. I hope what you heard this morning is not under the food. Maybe to lift it up a little bit, I will go over and scratch a little bit, So what were we talking about? What were we talking about? Marriage, family, yes. Yes. So we said many things. I started out by saying that don't you have a dream about marriage? You have to have a dream about marriage. You have to visualize yourself as a very godly wife or a godly husband, One day living with a woman, living with a man, giving birth to children and raising them up for the glory of God and for our building of our nation as good citizens, honest, faithful, tax-paying citizens of this country. That sort of, we have to have a dream. You have to say yourself, I'm going to contribute to the cause of Christ and to the cause of this nation. We need to. We have to be proud Christians and proud Indians. I will say that. We need to be, yes. So, you have to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, you don't reach anywhere, You get a dream, but then if you are only a dreamy person, your life is never going to be meaningful, You will always be fantasizing on maybe, living with the, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of all. You expect the mirror to say that you are the fairest of that all, but then it's not going to be changed. So, I said that you need to work to make your dream come to fulfill your dream, to make it real. Hard work, honest work. And that most people are not. They want by accident a good marriage to come. They want God to make up the deficiencies, No. God is not going to do that. He is gracious, He often does it, but you can never count on it. Thank you. That's a big cup I love to see and drink from. So I said hard work is needed. Hard work is needed. When should you begin this hard work? I pointed out that your parents are living your married life now. You have been watching them, observing them, you are copying them knowingly or unknowingly. And then the day comes when you will marry and, you're going to behave just like your mother behaved or just like your father behaved. Because that's what you have seen. Even if you don't like their lives, unknowingly, they influenced you. So unless you say, I am not going to imitate that, because my father was an angry man, he used to beat my wife and my mother, or my mother is a very, very, very insubordinate woman, always fought with my father, I'm not going to follow that pattern. Well, if you decide like that and then by God's grace you're going to work on it, then you have hope. Otherwise, silently you will follow, that. And that's the way we are all, because we are copycats. We learn from others, and not consciously always commit mistakes. Mistakes come naturally, but the correction of mistakes doesn't come naturally, but deliberately, deliberately. So that's the way. So you need to work on it. Work very hard, I say, work very hard. Then I asked the question, what exactly is a marriage? And I gave a definition of marriage. And I said that marriage is a covenant between a mature man and a mature woman to share lives in their totality until death do them apart, with the triune God, the archangels, and the church as witnesses, with the approval and the blessings of both parents and the churches. And this covenant is made in the presence of relatives, friends, and fellow believers, in accordance to the law of the land and the law of God, or the word of God, and the custom of God's people. We were expanding on it, how marriage is not a contract, it's a covenant. It's not upon conditions, I don't do my duties because my wife is doing her duty. Whether my wife does or not, does not. It doesn't matter. I am supposed to do my duty because I stood beside her and said that I will love you, I will care for you, provide for you. And didn't say that if you do this, then I will love you. No, I didn't say that. So I have to be a gentleman. I have to keep my words. Lot of people, take covenants, One of these days I have, conduct a lot of weddings here and there. So many times I thought, but one of these days I'm going to print the covenant they're going to take, and then I'm going to ask both of them right at the bottom and give them as a wedding gift a framed copy. They can hang it right against their bed every evening. Look at it, in bold letters. And so that when he starts fighting, look at it, read the covenant loud, that sort of. Because people take covenant and they forget about it. Honestly. Every married man, you remember what all covenants you have made? I don't remember, but I know what my wife said. That's what I was interested. And hopefully my wife knows what I said. And between the two, I think we have a good family life, So it's a covenant, not a contract. It's between two adult, mature adults, not between grown-up boy and grown-up girl. Sad I said that marriages these days are for grown-up boys and grown-up girls. Why, lot of people who get married, they are not ready to marry. They should not marry now. They have no concept of marriage. They are not adult people by any stretch of imagination. Only biological maturity is there. No moral, emotional, spiritual, character-wise maturity is there, and therefore they suffer, And marriage is a permanent affair. Only death could separate. You cannot think of, don't enter into marriage with the option of a divorce. I said that, are you entering into this marriage that it will last until death? Whatever happens, you have to say each other, we will work it out. Whatever happens, we will work it out. We will not allow divorce or separation to come into it. We will work it out. Even if we have to pay a great high price or suffer, we will work it out. Our marriage will not fail. That's sort of a covenant you have to take. This is a determination. Now people enter into it, with the option of divorce and separation. If it doesn't work out, I'll find somebody else. Move on. That sort of, no. Marriage you cannot. If you take that sort of a thinking you have, then your marriage is not going to be successful. Marriage covenant is made with the full knowledge and blessing of your parents. That's a normal, There are situations where your parents will not agree because they don't agree you marrying a believer, or they don't agree you marrying a convert from another religion, or, that sort of, if their disagreement is on spiritual matters, then forget about it. You sympathize with them, I sympathize with them, They cannot do anything more than that. I still remember when one of our brothers married, he was the son of a Orthodox priest. His grandfather was a priest on father's side, grandfather on mother's side was a priest. His own father was a priest, and they're all priests, and this trained him to be a doctor and all. Then of course, I had the privilege of leading him to the Lord and baptizing him, and then he was getting married and all that. So the father wrote me a big letter about 10-15 pages. I can see the anger in every sentence just blowing, and you have misguided my son, and you only doing this one because you want the tithe from him, and this, and this all sorts of thing, and God will not forgive you. You're a happy family, you destroyed it. I wanted my son to be married and become a priest, all that. I did not reply to it. I did not reply, but I kept my letter with him. I prayed, and then after many years, the reconciliation has taken place, and one day he met me, and he asked me that, why you didn't reply that letter? I couldn't call him Achanori. I said, Nappacha, I know the feelings of a father. I know you are grieved. Rightfully you are grieved. You are a priest. You have prestige, honor. You know. I know that with this marriage, your image in your church has gone down and all that. So every sentence I could understand feelings, but I cannot make a compromise because what the Bible teaches. So I respect your feelings. I don't want to say anything to add to that feelings. If I say the truth, your feelings will more be hurt. So I prayed for you and all. Okay, so he accepted. But I mean, we need to understand. We need to understand. Somebody from another religion, their son or daughter got into Christianity and then marrying a Christian, and they cannot stand it. They live in a community and everybody will be looking down them and all. We need to understand how they feel, but we cannot do any more than that feeling, because this is what the Bible commands, this is what God commands us, so he cannot compromise on it. So involve your families as much as possible. I always say that. Involve your families as much as possible. If the only reason the family won't cooperate is because of the religious reason, you cannot do anything. But on other areas, you do it. So marriage is with the blessings of the parents. Then I said the law of the land, whether it's age, related to health issues, and it may be dowry issues, and so many issues are there. The law of the land and law of the Bible and the customs of God's people, you have to refer all that. And then we kind of morning discussed about, what is a family. We discussed family is what is familiar, and then we discussed many things. Family is a relationship between peoples, husband, wife, children, in-laws, and all those. Family is a sharing relationship, sharing everything you have, everything, even words and feelings, Family is a growing relationship every day, growing in love, in respect, in care, in encouragement. It's a productive relationship. Family is not consumerism, where somebody is working and somebody is consuming. No. Family is contributing. Both, even the children, little children contribute to the family, not in money and all, but to the happiness of the family. And, everybody has to be. If somebody is only a consumer, even the 99-year-old father is contributing, his presence, his prayers, even the wrinkles on his and I remember when my mother was very old, 91, so all full of wrinkles. My Joanna, my third daughter's son, will come very small. As soon as he comes, he go to the machi and he said, he'll say all these wrinkles and all that. He was so fascinated, and he looks at his hands, look at all this, his mother's face and all. And then one day he just walked in and he saw the dead body. He was shocked. Always Ammachi will lift a hand and say something, and he went and touched and she doesn't respond, and doesn't open the eyes and all that. And he said, Ammachi, Marichu boy, Marichu boy, yes. So what I said is, she was a blessing, even to the grandson. It was a blessing. Her presence was. The sadness there was. We should see our old age parents are a blessing. My wife and I had the privilege of taking care of both our parents in their old age. It's not easy, to be honest. It was easy for me because my wife did everything. I was not there. I will be going here and there teaching class, but my wife did everything excellently. Nobody. My father used to say that. She has taken care of us like little children taken care by parents. That's joy. I don't think ₹1,000,000 will compensate that. No. That's, make their old age meaningful. My mother carried me for 3-4 years, washed me, cleaned me, fed me. Then the privilege God gave us to take care of my mother, wash her, bathe her, change her, feed her. That's what God does it, We are paying back. We are paying back. When we are little, they took care of us. When they are old, we are. So the family is a big thing, It's not just thinking that one man and woman just renting a house and or a flat and start working and making money, putting all the money in the Muthoot Bank or this bank or, Kodak Bank or whatever bank you have here. That's not family life. Family is more than that. Family is people, family is involvement, family is a growing relationship, a productive relationship, it's a koinonia, it's a fellowship. It's a workshop where individuals are matured, where love is invested, character is harvested, respect is, drawn as the interest every day, every moment. And, it's a great business. So I will say, you are living the life of Christ and the church as a shadow. Man, aren't you excited about family life? If you are living properly, I tell you. A good Christian family is a miniature heaven on earth. Love is invested, and character is harvested, and respect is what you get as interest. Daily interest you draw respect. Yes. So it's great. It's great. Then I asked, what is husband? Husband is house band, the one who bind everybody together, everybody, the unity, the functional relationship, everything. That's a husband's duty. He's like a rubber band that keeps things together, The husband is a band that together, yes. And the wife is the weaver who, weaves the beautiful drapes and the bedspreads and the clothes and all. She only makes the family beautiful. Oh, yes, so beautiful, yes. So then we talked about what is a good man, what is a biblical man. So we said the biblical man is a mature man, an adult man, somebody who has a lot of maleness or manliness, not somebody who is handsome and tall and or maybe short, whatever is, big muscles, lot of money and lot of property, have a nice car, and no, they have nothing to do with. They have nothing to do with. You may have, you may not have it. You may be the poor of the poorest, but still you may be a man. You may be a man. The leadership ability, love, care, protection, labor, decisions making, honesty, integrity, meekness, sacrifice, loyalty, the ability to reason logically, correctly, that's what makes a good man. So sisters, look for a good man, not a handsome man, not some people make the mistake of saying that I will marry only somebody who has a BA degree. There are gentlemen, men with a BA degree, but there are a lot of BA degree and MA degree people without, or a doctorate, engineering, whatever is. In education is not the measure of manliness. No. Education is not the measure of manliness. Some of the great men of even our country, politically speaking, they were not necessarily educated people. Some of the great men of our nation making, they were all not educated people. They didn't have the privilege of getting an education. In the Lord's field also like that, But God cannot use somebody who is not a man. No. God has never used somebody who is not a man. He's looking for a man in the real sense. Okay, that much we have discussed this morning. Now we will move to what is a good woman, a biblical woman. The femaleness of a woman, I will say that. The feminineness of a woman. What is it? Is that the beauty? How well she has her hair done, how often she visits the beauty parlor, is that what decides? Is it decided by the dowry her parents will, offer? Is it your education? No, nothing of that sort. Nothing of that sort. Then what it is? Just like in the case of man, the womanness is the total sum of certain virtues that is expected in the female gender. The one of them is affection. I said for man it is love. Love is sacrificial love, seeking the highest good. Affection is not that. Affection is responding Responding to the love of man. That's what affection is. Affection is a response. Love is not a response. Love is sacrificial. Man starts it. It's affection is you smiling back when I smile at you. And love is when your face is all angry and all that, and just come and say smile, and you don't smile, and then you slowly have a smile. So you have affection. That's one. A woman knows how to respond to a man. That's what. How to respond to a man. Yes, and affection is very precious. That the love doesn't have taste always, because it's sacrificial love. You're hungry, I'm feeding you. You don't have clothes, I'm buying it. I don't have to always be smiling at you and all that. No, but affection always has taste. Affection it's always has masala in it, It has a little honey added to it. It's sweet, it's tasty, So the affection of a woman makes the atmosphere of a home, palatable. But the love of a man is what keeps it moving. It's moving because he does what is needed. The woman is not doing what is needed, but she is applying the masala, little honey into it, and so that makes it. Man cooks his meat without any masala, but woman adds it with salt so that it's tasty. That's what is the role of the woman. And so if the woman does not know how to show affection, yes, most women know how to show affection. The problem is many of the women go beyond affection. Yes. Submission is another virtue, submission. Yes. So Paul and Peter all commands, wives, submit your husbands. Oh, that's a bad word. Bad word these days, right? Submission. No, I'm not submitting to anybody. Well, if you are not submitting to somebody, you're definitely submitting to somebody, and that's the wrong people. Maybe some egalitarian viewpoint or feminist viewpoint or something. The virtue of a woman is her submission. That's the way even in the animal kingdom, the biological kingdom, plant kingdom, everywhere. The female flower, you never see the female flower, the what you call inside the female thing, it never goes chasing the male pollen. No, the male pollen comes and deposits there, right? That's the way always. The male sperm is going to chase the ovum and enter into relationship. That's the way God created. You cannot change it. You change it, you got a problem. You see a rooster coming, what does the hen do? What does the hen do? You never seen Bombay, you don't see those. In Bombay, you only see dressed up chicken. But if you have never seen one, the rooster comes chasing, the hen sit down, so that they can have, they have biological reproductive systems. It's everywhere there, everywhere. You try to change it. You make the man to deliver the baby. I bet. Challenge. You just cannot. These days people have unisex ideas and transverse surgeries and this, though. You're never going to have a man delivering a baby and a woman fathering a child. No. You can talk all that you want. So God has, the man is the leader, the woman is a submissive person. The more graciously you submit, I tell you, the more joyful the home should be. Man is not commanded, make your wife submitted. No. Nowhere in the Bible. God never commands men, you make sure your wife submits. No. The commandment is to the woman, you submit your husband. The problem comes when the woman is not submissive, but the man makes her to submit. Oh, problem comes. If things go naturally in the order, there is joy, there is no friction, no heat, nothing. So from childhood on, the girls must be taught to submit. So I told my son, you are the leader. I tell my sons when I go, my wife is there, I called them and said, when daddy is not here, you are the man, the leader. I want you to make sure that your sisters behave, your mother is cared for, there is everything in the family is in order, buy whatever is needed. Yes. And girls are given the instruction, make sure if he tells you anything, you obey, unless if it's unethical, no, otherwise obey it. So none of the girls ever had the opportunity of tasting the muscles of the man, because they were taught to submit. Family goes without friction. Yes. So I will say, sisters, practice submission is not an evil. Submission is a divine character, because the son submitted to the father in everything. Not my will, but your will. See that? Father and son are equal in deity, but the son graciously submits to the father. It's not a question of inferiority. No, there is no inferiority. It's a theological virtue. It's a Christian virtue. If the Son of God can submit to the Father of God, why can't the woman submit to the man? Father is perfect. You are imperfect, husband is also imperfect, so it's okay. If a perfect being submit to the perfect, the imperfect being submit to the imperfect. So what's your problem? You are waiting to see the perfect person to come so that you can submit. Well, by that time I don't know whether you will be perfect. No, that's not the problem. That's not the problem. Somebody told that it's an inferiority feeling there. No, it's not inferiority for me. No, if my wife is submitting to me, it's not an inferiority. It's a naturally, divinely ordered thing. So submission. Faithfulness. It's expected from faithfulness in little things and big things. Faithfulness. If you are not able, you are watching the TV all day and forgotten the time the husband came and nothing is fixed and anything, don't say the child was sick all day and crying. I couldn't do anything. That's a lie. You must be faithful and say that I made a mistake. Somehow I was before the TV and it carried away me and I forgotten all about the time. So today I couldn't do a thing. Forgive me. No, the husband will appreciate that truthfulness. But if that's a truthfulness every day repeated, then it's not appreciation, some depreciation will start in the family. But if you admit the truth, I think that truth will make it, more. So people lie. I said men lie, women lie. There's excuses. They call it, excuses, this excuse. The word excuse means a bad thing. The word excuse is a bad word. It means that I made a mistake, excuse me. That's all what it means, So it's not. So faithfulness is very, very important in little things and big things. Everything. Even when you are sweeping or cleaning, don't put everything under the carpet, no. That's not faithful, because you are giving the appearance I have done my job while you are hiding your sin underneath. The faithfulness, even if little, say that, okay. In anything you do, be honest. Compassion, it's a feminine character. Our God has that compassion, the character, it's compassion. Compassion is feeling, kind of a very sensitive feelings towards the unfortunate people, compassion. Somebody comes to your place hungry, have compassion. And your husband comes home late, tired, maybe battered by his boss, maybe called to the office and gave the peanuts and said the golden shake hand. You come home, but show compassion. Yes. Oh, compassion is such a precious feminine virtue. These days you don't see a lot of compassion. Hard-hearted women are there, a whole lot. But in between you can see, it's kind of the Mother Teresa virtue, going through the streets of Calcutta and see a poor leper, covered with flies.